Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Michael Jordan played every single game during the Bulls' second three-peat. The man played every single game. While players today keep complaining about 65 games, they're crying about the requirements, the new stipulations, the new rules that NBA set in place to force them to play. Imagine that. You're getting millions of dollars and they still got to force you to get on the court. That don't even add up to me. Imagine if somebody said, yo, I'll pay you millions of dollars just to play sports. I'm there every day, every single day. I wouldn't miss a day. So these dudes is getting paid a hell of money and they're still complaining because it's too much games. We want the money, we just don't want to play as much, or we want to determine when we play. And the NBA had to force these dudes to play basically by making new rules and stipulations just to get them on the court. And that's insane. In the 80s and 90s, dudes play. The only time dudes didn't play is if they're hurt. If a player is at least 50 to 60%, they're going to play. No question asked, man. Now dudes is always complaining. Dudes talking about they need to lower the 65 game requirements. Why? What more do you want? They made a 65 game requirement. So that's almost 20 games less. And players are still complaining. It's too much. They're soft, man. Dude, they're soft. That's the fact of the matter. These dudes are soft. They want to be paid a lot of money, but they don't want to play. Players rather be on social media taking pictures, doing bullshit. They don't want to lace them up, but they want the big bucks. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan played all 304 games in the Bulls' second three-peat. The man played all the games. And this is Michael Jordan we're talking about. It's not that he had to, but that's just the way he's wired. He's built different. Unless he's seriously injured and he can't go, he's going to lace him up. And that's what players do back then compared to now. Dudes don't want to play. Everybody want to be Instagram models, but they can't lace them up. And if you're talking about you want to be great, you're talking about greatness, you want to be the greatest and you want to be the best at what you do, it starts with your mindset. It starts with your mindset. If you want to be the greatest player or you have aspiration of being up there with the MJs, the Kobes, LeBrons, Magic, Kareem, well, you got to have a mindset like, you know what? Unless I can't go physically, I'm going to play. You got to work on your game. You got to have that Mamba mentality, which he developed from watching Michael Jordan. MJ was the standard. Then eventually Kobe became the standard. It trickles down. Simple as that. Kobe wanted to be the best, so he watched the best. He studied the best. And he wanted to play every single game. Kobe took the Michael Jordan blueprint, the Michael Jordan approach. Hence why he ended up being so great. But these dudes know they don't want to play. They're crying about playing 65 games. It's too much. Yet dudes is talking about they want to be mentioned in the same breath as MJ and the rest of them. Come on, man. What are we doing? A simple 65 game threshold. How hard is that? 65 games. Oh, it's too much. That's a small threshold. That is almost minus 20 games. How much more games do you want the NBA to remove from the stipulation? But this is what separates greatness. This is what separates players. A lot of dudes is saying they want to be great, or they're dreaming of being on Mount Rushmore, but they won't put in the work. So if you don't want to put in the work, which starts by getting on the court, working on your game, then how will you ever be mentioned in the same breath as MJ, Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Larry Bird? You'll never be mentioned in that same light. The only person today in this generation currently that has that work ethic, at least from where I'm standing, is Giannis. Giannis can't shoot. We know he's not the greatest shooter, but he has the mentality and he has the work ethic. And he don't want to be best friend with everybody on the court. That's the one player I could say I see a lot of old school in Giannis. Giannis have that old school approach. He's not trying to team up with everybody. He's not trying to hang out in the summer and work out. And he has that old school mindset. Everybody else is crying. It's too much. Please lower the requirements. I hear dudes talking about making 55 games or some crazy nonsense. No, you either play or you won't be rewarded. If you want to be rewarded, you got to play. You want to be seen as one of the greatest, you got to play all the games unless you're hurt, and you got to work on your skill set. Don't be complacent. So Michael Jordan at 32 to 34 years old, almost 35, played all 82 games. The man didn't miss a game during his three-peat. That is greatness. But this is what separates MJ from a lot of these players, trying to talk about dudes like LeBron is better than MJ. That sounds crazy. The resumes don't even match, and if we go off just playing all the games, it's a landslide. MJ don't take no game off. Unless he's actually physically injured and he can't go, he's going to play. During Jordan's second three-peat, his second championship run, he averaged 29.6 points, 6.1 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.9 steals, basically 2 steals, 0.5 blocks. But what's even more amazing, during the playoff, he elevated his game. His numbers went up. In the playoffs, he averaged 31.4 points, 6 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.6 steals, 0.6 blocks. But that shows you how great this man is. Whatever he did in the regular season, and it was amazing, in the playoff, he took it to the next level. And that's greatness. You don't regress, you move forward. You keep getting better. The playoff is the biggest stage in the NBA. That is the biggest stage. That's where legends are made. So whatever you did in the regular season, great, that was cool. Now it's showtime. You got to amplify that. And who did it better than MJ? And a lot of these dudes talking about they want to be great. They hope one day they'll be up there with all the greats. You're not going to get there by being complacent and crying about 65 games. No, you're not. If you're aspired to be in the NBA all-time top 10, you're going to have to put in some work. So all this crying about games is too much. Don't say you want to be great, but you're crying about it's too much games. The threshold, the requirements is too much. If that's the case, be quiet. But this is what MJ had to do, or this is what he did, and that's greatness, man. That is what we call greatness. Not all these half-ass dudes crying, in a soft era. How can you cry in a soft era? What more do you want? It's already soft as it is. Nobody plays defense. Everything is already in your favor. What more do you want? The fact that players could complain now about 65 games is an indictment to where we're at in sports and basketball. We're at a point where everybody's crying and they're soft. This man three-peated and he played every goddamn game. He didn't miss a game. So you have Jaylen Brown making suggestions saying it should be 58 games. So the NBA should remove 7 games and make it 58 games. I'm telling you, man, these dudes are soft and they're crybabies. Me personally, I think 65 games, the NBA did them a favor, to be honest with you. Like, you can't win. Even if it's in the favor of all the players, they're still going to complain. Because these dudes are like spoiled brats, and that's just the fact of the matter. But MJ played all the games. All the great players back then, they played if they could. Nobody wanted to miss games because players love playing basketball. They actually enjoyed playing, showing up. Dudes wanted to compete. Everybody was competing to see who is the best team, who's the best players. That was just the standards. Now these dudes don't want to play. They're crying all the damn time. It is what it is, man. But as always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, holla at your boy. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.